everyone, welcome back to my channel, Cuff'em and Quote'em. Today I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a book discussion, not really a review, but kind of a book discussion about the book that started it all for me, the one that got me into reading, the one that got me into writing, the one that really taught me that books can open up a whole new world to places. It's my favorite book on the planet still. I love this series. I actively follow the author. I'm a little obsessed, but it's okay. So that book is The Green Rider book by Kristen Britton. I don't even remember when I bought this book, honestly. It's all sorts of worn, and I mean, they're not huge things, but for me it's a little painful. So this book came out, I don't remember, 91 maybe? 99, 98, okay, came out in 1998. The sixth one should be coming out soon. I'm obsessed, like I said. So this book, I picked this book up when I was in the 6th grade? 7th? 7th. We're gonna say it was 7th. It was junior high, so we're gonna say my first, yeah, we're gonna go with 7th. 7th grade sounds good. So it was in the 7th grade. We had to pick a book to do a book report on, and it was the first book that we got to pick that wasn't something assigned to us. And up until this point, I hadn't really been a big reader. Like I watched Star Trek with my dad, so I was kind of like into fantasy, but I wasn't really a reader. I wasn't actively a reader. Like I read books, but not for enjoyment. I didn't mind reading them, but I didn't go seek them out. So this was the first time I had to go seek out a book on my own to do a book report on. And so I'm walking, I remember this still, I'm walking through the library in definitely 7th grade, because it was a new library. I remember it being big and I was excited. So I'm walking through the library and I see this spine, and I see the girl on the horse, and I was the horse girl in school. I had the horse t-shirts and I loved them. I still love horses. And so I saw the girl on the horse and I was like, oh, that's great. And so I literally picked it up simply because of this cover spine. I think it was a paperback book that I pulled out of the library, maybe. Yes, because it was like mass paperback, so it was, yeah. And I remember I started reading it, and like 5 pages in, I was hooked, and I knew that this was gonna be like a whole new thing. I started reading it, and I attached to Kerrigan, the main character, so much. I don't even, like, I don't know why. Like, I couldn't relate to her. Like, I'm not a horseback rider, and I don't know, something about her and her journey of trying to just fit in with her family and finding a purpose and wanting to be the perfect daughter. I don't know, something about that just like spoke to me as my little angsty preteenness. And so I was hooked on this book from the minute, like, I remember I read the first chapter. I was a little confused because it kind of drops you into the world a little bit, so I was a little confused in the first chapter, didn't quite get what was happening. And then the second chapter, she's getting kicked out of school and she's trying to get to home before the letter from the headmaster gets there that says that she's been kicked out of school so she can tell her dad, like, this is actually what happened, don't listen to the letter. Like, I remember reading that and just being like, yes, this chick's, I can root for this lady, because that's totally something I would have done. I would have been like, don't listen to that, listen to this, I promise, my story's better. But it stuck to me. And so I blazed through this book. It was the thickest book I had ever read. I think it's, I don't know, 400. Yeah, it's like 503 pages. And I remember even in the mass paperback version, it was still huge. I remember we had to split it in half because the book requirement was 250 was the max we could do. Anything over that we had to split in half, and mine worked out perfectly that I could split it in half exactly and it would work. And so I remember I'm reading this book and I had to remind myself to stop at the 250-ish page mark so that I wouldn't read too far into the next section for the next like semester or whatever. And it was really hard. Like I didn't do it. I remember I read the whole thing and then I had to pretend to still be reading it for the next semester or the next block, I don't know, whatever it was, next thing, so that I could do that report because I blazed through it in like a couple of weeks, I think. I zoomed through it. It was the best. But so I remember I finished the book. I don't even think I finished the book. I turned it back into the library like maybe 50 or so pages in and went and bought this from Barnes & Noble, Amazon, I'm assuming. I don't remember where I bought it. And then I bought the next one right after that. This one. And can I even... Side note. Okay. We're going to take a trip to the bookshelf. Stand by. Okay. So it bothers me to no end that this is not the same size. I can't... But this is my favorite book on the planet, and it's worn and it's torn and it's been through some things, and so I'll never replace it because that's the book I use. Like the plastic is peeling up on the covers, and like this one got some love because there was like, I bought this one like maybe 2 months or something after it was published, and then between this one and the next one it was like a 3-year wait. So this one got some love and attention, but they're not the same. That drives me insane. I can't even stress that enough. It hurts my insides. But so I blazed through it, got the second one, and then had to figure out how to keep my sanity before the third one came out. And I still obsessively follow this author, and I am on one of her Patreons. Yeah. So this is the book that made me realize that you can read for enjoyment and find that escape that books can offer. Because up until this point, my exposure to books were short stories and reading assignments that we had in school. I mean, yeah, basically that. Like, if it was in school and I read it. Like, I didn't mind reading, but I never had a reason to want to seek it out before. And then I discovered Green Rider, and that opened up a whole new idea of what books could be for me. So these books just stuck to me because this is something I recognize now. I did not recognize this at the time, but looking back, I love character dramas. Like the TV shows that I watch and the movies that I watch, the ones that I gravitate to are the ones that are character dramas and less plot oriented. Like the perfect example is Passion Fish with Mary McDonnell, my other favorite person on the planet. I love that movie. Plot is pretty, like the plot is secondary to the story of the characters growing, right? Like I would never say that this had like a traditional like climax and then resolution plot growth. It's all about the characters. I love that about my books as well. I love the plot in Green Rider and the story of how they're going to stop this big baddie from coming back and how they're going to repair the wall and everything. I love that story. I don't read that for that story though. I read it for Kerrigan and the supporting cast of characters and the king. That's a whole nother story. That one hurts, but that's a different problem. I read it for the characters, and I want to know what they're going to do next, what they're going to say next, how are they going to interact, how is Kerrigan going to grow. Like the last book, woof. She's got some recovery to do, so I want to read. I'm dying for this next book. Not to know what's going to happen with whatever potential war is coming, but I want to know how Kerrigan's going to deal and get over with what happened to her and what the king is going to do about her, because there were some things that happened that definitely were not resolved yet. Like I read it for those things. I read it for the characters. Plot is secondary to me. I mean, there's some books that I have that are no, I'd definitely say most of the books that I gravitate to are the ones that are that they have really deep characters. Even my vampire smut I read for the characters mostly. Don't judge me. Everybody's got the dirty pleasure. It happens to be. Oh, you can't even see. Hang on, pause. Mine just happens to be vampire smut. It's fine. Whatever. don't be judging people with what they read. So, tangent. I read it for the characters, and that's why I keep reading these books. I mean, the plot's great, and the plot is amazing, and I still really want to know what's going on with that, but that's a secondary thing to me. Definitely the characters. That's my thing. So that is what got me hooked with these books, and that is what kept me continuing to read these books, because I'm not going to lie, the wait in between these books, yeah, they're trying a person. For those of you who haven't read this series yet and they're wanting to pick it up, y'all are so lucky, because there was, let's see, between book 2 and 3, there was, I think, like 3 years, and then how long between, they get thicker as they go, at least there's that. So this was published in 11. This one didn't come out until like my senior year of high school, I think. Don't do that math. Hold up. Got the bloody books in the wrong damn order. So 07 to 11 is between the gaps between the next two. 2007 to 2011. Yeah, and then where did this one? This one was a huge one. This one killed me. That one wasn't so bad. That was only 3 years. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, only 3 years. Like, it's a little, it's fine. The next one is with the editor. It's soon. It's fine. We're not going to figure out how long the last one was. But that's why I keep reading these books, because I'm not going to lie, I can't even tell you how many of my authors up here I've, like this one, what series is this? The Cassie Palmer series. Oh, loved it. I love this series. And then, stay. Whatever. And then there was a big gap between the main series I was reading, because she was working on her secondary series, and I have not read them since. Because I'm not a patient person. I get way too distracted. All the time. Clearly, if you're watching this video, you'll recognize that. So I can't handle big gaps between books at all. Like like her, I don't even remember what this series is called. The Midnight Daughter series, which was the secondary one to the Cassie series. That one, I still don't think there's a series to that one. I don't know, I haven't checked, because but what keeps me invested in these books with the 3 to 4 year gap in between series is how fantastic the characters are, and how much I will admit, I haven't reread them. I am one of those persons where I buy books, read them, and then never read them again. Although it's been so long since I've read Green Rider, I might actually reread them. A lot of what keeps me going is the nostalgia to that first feeling of reading Green Rider and realizing that you can explore so much through books. I think a lot of that love and obsession over these books is rooted in that feeling that I had when I read the first one. A lot of it is the nostalgia to it. I mean, I grew up with these books. Like, I was 7th grade when I started reading them now, and I'm not that young anymore. Like, I mean, I had to wait for all of these to get published. The second one had just barely came out when I started the series, so I feel like I'm growing up with Kerrigan through the series. Kind of like Harry Potter. I guess Harry Potter's like that for a lot of people. Not so much for me. Harry Potter was good, but it was definitely these ones. That's how this series was for me. But random, not really a review, talk about books. Oh, I wanted to show you. Told you. Squirrel. So these two are my most loved books, so I don't really reread books. I reread sections. So it used to be a lot worse. So I have marked my favorite sections with bookmarks. There's actually a lot less. I used to have both the flaps and multiple bookmarks, but so I've marked my favorite sections. I don't even actually remember why. like I was curious to see why is this my favorite? Why is this? Oh, this might be a bookmark from when I did try to start rereading it, because this is not relevant to anything that's happening. Let's see what this one is. I don't know what this bookmark is either. I have a note that I need to mark it on page 370. I don't know why. Oh, this one. Yes, I remember why. This is when she realized she loved him. That's why that's marked. And then, as you can see in this one, where all the bookmarks used to be because the pages are all tinted. But, oh hey, that's pretty. Forgot I even owned this book. So this one, let's see, why is this section marked? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see what this used to be. Oh, hey look, bookmark. That's another pretty one that I wish I should use these more often and stop having them hold books. Oh, I literally marked this page as a page to remember because she's. This is the moment he realizes he's in love with her. That's why I marked this one. See, that's the obsession is too much. I don't know why I marked this one. Maybe I should reread them so I remember why I marked certain pages. Who knows? If anybody, the fandom for Green Rider is small, but we are a hearty bunch. So if you have read the Green Rider series and you liked it, let's talk because we nerds need to unite. I will not be ashamed to admit that I write fanfic for this. I need to finish it though, but I'm not ashamed to admit this. It's how I got through the long, dry spells. So if you've read Green Rider, let me know. I want to hear your opinion on it. I want to hear when you picked it up and what it means to you. I mean, if you don't care, if you think it's a dumb book, I'll listen to that argument too. I won't agree with you, but I'll listen to it. What books do you have that were that for you? Like, what ones did you read that you remember being the one that was like, this is why people read? Like, let me know down below. I would love to start that book discussion, and maybe I'll find some new series while I'm waiting for this one to come out because it's gonna be a minute. But welcome to my random booktube rant about Green Rider. It was a bit of a squirrel moment. What do you want, guys? But yeah, let me know. What books did you love? What books did you hate? Have you read Green Rider? What were your thoughts on it? I want to know. Let's start this book discussion. I'm all for it. I need new book nerds. But thank you for joining me on this really random episode of Cuff 'em and Quote 'em.